This Hispanic Heritage Month, we celebrate the Hispanic, Latino, and Indigenous people of East Tennessee. WATE 6 on your side celebrates Hispanic heritage.
Good evening, I'm Tirsa Smith.
I'm Summer Dash. Thank you so much for joining us. It is National Hispanic Heritage Month.
To celebrate, we're taking a close look at the history, culture, and contributions of Hispanic, Latino, and Indigenous individuals right here in East Tennessee.
Now, one of the biggest celebrations of Hispanic Heritage Month in East Tennessee is the annual Ola Festival. This year's celebration was the last weekend of September at World's Fair Park.
Reporter Elizabeth Kubel shows us the sights, sounds, and significance of the annual festival.
Step inside the annual Ola Festival and immerse yourself in a world of vibrancy. Bright colors, live music, and talented dancers.
Our motto this year is many voices, many colors, one heart. So we're really one people with a lot of differences, but with a lot in common at the same time.
What better way to celebrate that than with one of the festival's premier events? The Parade of Nations.
I think it's just beautiful. It's so great to see all these different people and colors and costumes and flags represented by people who actually live here in East Tennessee.
A fan favorite at an event that is ringing in more than 2 decades in Knoxville.
I think it's awesome learning about all the different countries and trying all the food. It's been a lot of fun.
And that's really what the Ola Festival is all about.
Well, imagine coming so far away to establish a new life in this great country and then being able to have this opportunity to cook for people, to present information from their countries that, to the people, to express themselves and go, yes, I belong, and I can also express myself and share what my life is in the community.
A chance to learn, to explore, and to share. Reporting in Knoxville, Elizabeth Kubel, WATE 6 on your side.
According to the Ola Festival's website, organizers depend on sponsors as well as local, state, and federal government agencies. They say they appreciate the support and attendance.
The 2020 census gave us a better idea of the makeup of East Tennessee. Now, here in Knox County, 6% of those who filled out the survey were Hispanic or Latinx. In our region, 3 counties have a higher percentage of Hispanic or Latino neighbors. Sevier County sits at 8.8%, Loudoun 9.8%, and in the lead, 14.7% of people living in Hamlin County noted Hispanic or Latinx descent on the census.
As you can tell by those numbers, Morristown is becoming known as a welcome center for immigrant families. Reporter Lexi Spivak sat down with the executive director of Ola Lakeway to learn how the organization is fostering a growing, diverse community. One man who has only been in America for 4 months also talks about why East Tennessee already feels like home.
This stretch of Cumberland Street in Morristown is filled with authentic Hispanic and Latinx businesses. Nelson Labarca, while more than 2,000 miles away from his home, says the small town already feels like home sweet home.
Es tranquila, sí, es pequeño, es parecido así, y me gusta por lo tranquilo.
Where he's from in Venezuela is more of a small town, more calm, kind of like here.
Labarca was a petroleum engineer. He says he came here for his wife and 2 little boys.
There's a lot of opportunity here. He's always seen the United States that way, but the main reason that he made the decision to come here was because of his sons.
Betsy Hurst, the executive director of Ola Lakeway, says people like Nelson walk through her doors every day.
Census reported is about 14% now of Hispanic community in Morristown.
This growth is why Ola Lakeway is not just a resource for the Hispanic or Latinx communities, but for every immigrant, no matter where they come from. They offer English classes, workforce development programs, food assistance, advocacy in the school system, and even COVID-19 resources, all to make sure these newcomers are integrated into the local way of life.
You can see it in communities. They are usually trying to look how to integrate the Hispanic community into the activities, events.
For communities wanting to do more, Hurst says start talking.
Make a space for them and allow them to to be their voice, to advocate for their own community.
Because as Betsy and Nelson both know, making somewhere so far feel like home can be tough.
Coming here and not knowing anybody and not having any resources, and coming here and it being like a family, and it's been a big help to him and his family.
A new place filled with opportunity for the Lobarca family and so many others. Reporting in Morristown, I'm Lexi Spivak for WATE 6 on your side.
We have more information on our website and on our news app on how to contact Ola Lakeway, as well as information about their Ola on the Move door-to-door program. They also offer immigration legal consultations on Saturdays for those with questions.
Dozens of our neighbors here in Knoxville are working really hard right now to learn English. A partnership between Centro Hispano, the Knoxville version of Ola Lakeway, and Pellissippi State has brought classes to the Division Street campus. This collaboration is brand new as of this fall. So we headed into the classroom to see how it's going.
Dime en inglés, estoy leyendo.
A lot goes into learning a new language.
Reading, I am reading.
More than any of us who haven't had to do it will ever know.
All of my students are hardworking people. They get here at 6 o'clock. A lot of them come late because they're coming directly from their jobs. But they have the motivation to learn English and to therefore fit into the American community and to do better economically and in their jobs.
Depending on who you ask, there are different ways you can help out. You can certainly donate or volunteer like James Costa.
My favorite part is the personal contact with the students, with the Latino students, joking around with them and getting them to speak English through a relaxed atmosphere.
The history for the relate.
If you ask student Lena Camacho, a much simpler task will do.
I think for speak more slowly because I think for Knoxville specific or the SOR for United States is more difficult for the accent, different accent. And the people speak very fast.
Camacho is interested in the environment and hopes for a successful career. Her biggest goal right now is to speak fluent English, which
I don't know.
She is getting the hang of.
I am a volunteer in the youth garden now for the educational program for the children. I finished the last week for my internship for IANS, for the environmental topics.
Each of these students shows up here for a personal reason.
I think this class is very specific and have more opportunity for your life and your goals.
You can guess some answers. Do better in jobs, make more money, support a family. Had you considered this, though?
If you can't speak English in this country, you are very definitely kind of a second grade a citizen.
Do you need to read and listen and everything very fast?
A new country, a new language, and at times a new harsh reality.
She was trying to come back, but she couldn't because
motivation like this must come from somewhere. For one student who married into an English-speaking family.
She said, I've got to learn this language so I can fight with my husband and in-laws. So that kind of, to me, exhibited that with enough motivation.
Look the difference in between the Spanish and English.
Sure, they're learning a language, but with it comes lessons in humor, culture, and how to be part of it all.
It's very good.
Leaders with Centro included a dedicated classroom, by the way, for children when they created this program. This is pretty neat. Before that, many of the students were often forced to miss class because they needed childcare. And with that need now met, they hope to serve entire families.
That's so awesome. While they are working to learn English, more programs are popping up in schools to actually teach Spanish at a young age. I went through that myself in 4th grade. Learned that second language. Invaluable.
Oh my gosh.
Well, still to come, we're going to look at a pilot program in a local school that could soon be taught across East Tennessee.
And during the pandemic, data shows that Hispanic and Latino communities have been disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. Efforts in Knox County to bridge cultural and language divides to keep people healthy.
Welcome back. The coronavirus pandemic has affected every community in East Tennessee, with loved ones lost, job loss, health rules, and recently vaccine efforts. Leaders in the local Hispanic and Latino community continue to coordinate education and vaccination efforts with strategic planning. Digital producer Melanie Vasquez Russell has a look at how they tackle the mission to get shots in arms.
Claro, Tirsa, these leaders and health officials tell me their strategies to coordinate, educate, and vaccinate Hispanics and Latinos began months ago, and they are now seeing encouraging data. Right now, Knox County Hispanic and Latino residents have a vaccination rate of around 60%. That's the highest vaccination rate among the county's racial and ethnic demographics.
Amid the pandemic, we realized that the data was showing that the Hispanic community, among other minorities, was being hit hard. The numbers were growing exponentially, and we needed to understand what happened. So we convened a group of leaders in the community and started discussing about what might be the possible answer to that question.
A local nonprofit, Centro Hispano de East Tennessee, was one of the groups that collaborated with the health department to educate La Comunidad about the pandemic and later the vaccine.
And just also fighting misinformation in every way that we could by just sharing what we know and what we can. So it's also the responsibility of Centro to continue to be informed.
En otras palabras, un booster shot.
The group rolled out weekly videos, food distribution, help for virtual school, information in Spanish and indigenous languages, because leaders knew they held and still maintain the community's trust.
We have that trust, we have that direct contact, we have that cariño, like with the community. So also us being like, hey, instead of maybe listening to these like spam on WhatsApp, we can tell you more about it.
The health department also created Spanish language social media pages dedicated to information about the pandemic.
Information in their own language was a huge gap. People were still getting information about the vaccine, the pandemic from news outlets from their countries of origin, which really didn't allow them to understand what was happening locally. So we identified that providing information in their own language about their own community was a huge need.
Hispanics and Latinos in East Tennessee and across the U.S. have some of the highest rate of workers contributing in essential businesses and therefore more likely to be affected by the pandemic. Many work in the agriculture, construction, food, and hospitality industries, helping to feed and build America and take care of families.
We're very family oriented, so it's all about also having that chance to reconnect with our family members, like talk to our tias and go play with like our nieces or our nephews, and just having that opportunity and just seeing that vaccine as the way to be able to do that.
The U.S. Joint Economic Committee says that Hispanics are far more likely to be infected with COVID-19 and economically affected by the pandemic. But the report also states that we are a resilient people capable of making significant, meaningful contributions to the U.S. economy. That's why leaders say these vaccination efforts are so important for the community's recovery.
Thank you, Melanie. You can learn more about this data on our website, WATE.com. We have a whole section dedicated to Hispanic Heritage Month. It's under the Community tab.
South Knoxville Elementary launched a new program this fall teaching Spanish to second and third graders. Students are immersing themselves in the language, and educators are hoping to turn the pilot into something permanent. Good Morning Tennessee anchor Allison Smith takes us into the classroom.
It is contagious, the excitement. The kids cannot wait until Friday.
On Fridays, students bubble over with excitement, eager to learn new words, phrases, and songs in Spanish.
I think it's exciting to learn about another culture, and we have some diversity in our school and in our district, and it's great to learn about that from a different lens, a different perspective.
Every second and third grader attending South Knoxville Elementary has access to the pilot program. The school partnered with Centro Hispano to bring in teachers once a week and lead students through interactive Spanish immersion.
Something as maybe sometimes seen as simple as language can really open up the world for people.
Claudia Caballero is the president and CEO of the nonprofit, which serves as the leading resource for East Tennessee's Latino community.
So much of the world speaks Spanish. Being able to have those language skills, as basic as they may be, really is beneficial.
School and community leaders are already witnessing how bilingual education can help children of all backgrounds.
¿Cómo te llamas? Muy bien, Diesel.
Really increases your earning potential, your view of the world, your comfort in navigating the world, your opportunities and your ability to see different people and different cultures through a new light.
Principal Tana Nicely says they decided to target the younger grade levels because scientific data shows the sooner a child is exposed to a new language, the better. She believes it's an invaluable life skill and learning is contagious.
I think once we get the data and we're able to share it with the other principals and the district, I feel like that this is something that we will catch on. And just you saw it yourself. The excitement is enough. I mean, that's data enough to say this is working.
Reporting in Knoxville, Allison Smith, WATE 6 on your side.
The County Commission, City Council, and School Board all helped get that program off the ground and provided funding through December. If it's successful, community and school leaders would eventually like to roll out the program for all the elementary schools in the district. Still to come as we celebrate Hispanic heritage. You can't talk about Hispanic and Latino culture without thinking of a wide array of those delicious foods. When we come back, we are hearing from the owner of a local restaurant whose family recipes are bringing him success. And another aspect of culture, the arts, how Hispanic and Latino artists are being put in the spotlight here in East Tennessee this month.
Welcome back. It takes a lot of courage to come to a new country and put down roots. For many Latino and Hispanic immigrants, their food, culture, and entrepreneurial spirit has paved the way to many restaurants we enjoy in East Tennessee and really across the country. I sat down with the owner of a local restaurant group whose family recipes have made them a success story.
A trip to East Tennessee changed everything for Javier Zendejas some 14 years ago.
We like it here and we saw the potential. And we saw people in Tennessee like LA, Mexican food especially. They love it here.
Immigrating to the area and building a family-owned brand of well-loved Mexican food restaurants.
Our family has Casa Don Gallo in Rocky Hill, Don Gallo in Hardin Valley, another Don Gallo in Choto by the lake. And this store is a new store, it's a taco shop.
Zalete in North Knox County is the new spot.
A different concept. It's more like authentic food, more street food, like what you call Mexico. It's just tacos and tequila, basically.
More than just a taste of Mexico, but a taste of home, like Grandma used to make.
That's all, like grandmothers teach you how to cook, how to make beans, how to make rice, how to cook. That's basically what we try to do.
Zendejas bringing family recipes to the table in their restaurants, customers loving every bite.
Oh my gosh, the food is incredible. It's fresh. It's very fresh Mex. We love it. I come here at least 3 times a week.
For the Zendejas family, getting to know their customers is a special part of the business.
For us, it's like pride to talk about our culture, to know that we're good people and that we love it here.
Creating memories over meals.
You keep it authentic, like what they say, you keep it real. People like it. People love it. You find that connection with people through food,
Connections with every bite.
Javier and his wife Mariana say they hope memories are made over meals in their restaurants. So how popular are Mexican-style restaurants? There are nearly 50,000 in the U.S. as of 2021, and that's an increase of about 3% from 2020.
Another up-and-coming eatery was honored at this year's Latino Awards in late September. This year's Best Latino Restaurant, according to voters, Taqueria La Herradura. In English, La Herradura means the horseshoe, a symbol of luck. The owners started the business as one food truck, and now they own 2 brick-and-mortar locations and 3 food trucks. 2 other Latino awards were given out at this year's virtual gala. The Latino Community Ally Award was given to the Welcome Center of Knox County Schools. It was set up as a place for non-English speaking families to come and register their children. The final award, Latino Community Leader, was given to Veronica Calderon Speed. She's been an ELL, or English Language Learner, teacher at Hardin Valley Academy since 2017. She established the Latino Student Alliance and works to empower and encourage her Latino students. Still to come as we celebrate Hispanic heritage. Music connects people, and it's got a power to get you moving. We are getting an inside look at local Spanish language radio station La Líder 93.5 and their impact on the community when we come back.
There's nothing like hearing your favorite song on the radio. It just takes you someplace. For those who depend on Spanish language radio, that place is home. In the midst of a pandemic, it's even more important because it translates important community updates as well. Now, as La Líder 93.5 puts it, they are the bridge for many in East Tennessee.
On a busy small town road in the heart of Lenoir City sits a humble building many may not notice.
Pasar una tarde agradable con ustedes. Hoy es Throwback Thursday. ¿Cómo están?
Inside sits a small radio station.
Que nos quedan del mes de septiembre. Heritage Month is September, and we are so happy to announce you that we're going to have the Ola Festival. Are you ready?
That links East Tennessee's Latino and Hispanic communities to a taste of home.
We reach 8 counties and surrounding areas. Plus, we are in tune-in radio, so we have no borders. We are everywhere. We'll be right back with more music. Thank you for listening.
La Líder 93.5 FM's Mercedes Cuevas takes pride in the station being a link between two worlds for Spanish speakers living in East Tennessee.
It is so nice to talk to people on the phone when the telephone rings, because I know for a fact that the radio station is a way for them to feel back home.
She says the power of music is unlike anything else.
The real country, like here in Tennessee, country, Tennessee music, this is the Mexican country. But since we are the only Spanish radio station in East Tennessee, we also play Latino, tropical, for Central and South America, because we want to bring the happiness and we want to connect with everybody in East Tennessee. Ooh.
But Mercedes says La Líder knows its impact, using its reach to keep Spanish-speaking communities informed. When COVID-19 hit the area, they hit the airwaves.
I was here working, connecting the health department live every single week with the public announcements, live interviews to doctors.
Making sure their listeners stayed informed and entertained.
That has no idea and explanation, it's just magical. And it's the reason people are following us and we are surviving and having this wonderful 15 years on the air.
15 years of being a taste of home.
Lenoir City, Tennessee. Para ti.
La Líder is based in Lenoir City but covers 8 counties: Knox, Loudoun, McMinn, Roane, Blount, Monroe, Campbell, and Anderson.
Hispanic and Latinx artists have been celebrated throughout Hispanic Heritage Month with the annual Frutos Latinos exhibition, kicked off at the Casa Ola Art Gallery in the Emporium downtown, first Friday of September. Then on September 15th, the first day of Hispanic Heritage Month, their work was put on display at the Knoxville Museum of Art. These pieces are on display through this Friday, October 15th.
Thank you for joining us tonight as we celebrated Hispanic heritage in East Tennessee. For more stories celebrating success and strength in the Latino community, and also a look at resources available through Centro Hispano, head to our website.
We've got an entire section dedicated to Hispanic Heritage Month. You're going to find the Hispanic Heritage Month tab. It's right under the Community tab on WATE.com.